Today we will talk about writing in the perspective of descriptive type of writing. Actually, in each class in the 10th, 11th, 12th grades, students are asked to use a certain type of writing which will be corrected in the paper sheet of the exam. So first, I will give you a brief introduction about the requirements of your piece of writing to get the full mark, inshallah. First, you need to do the pre-writing techniques, the outlining. The outlining actually graded out of 20 marks. You need to write an outline for your piece of writing, which should include introduction, two bodies, and conclusion. And you have to state here just a brief information about what you are going to write. Exposition of ideas, paragraph and a number of sentences are divided by 70 marks in your final piece of writing. Spelling and grammar, you will be deducted by 2 marks or 20 marks only by spelling and grammar. Handwriting, spacing, and punctuation. If you didn't follow these standard rules of writing, you will be deducted up to 1 mark. Now, an important notice here that 3 or 30 marks will be deducted from your piece of writing if you change your format. For example, for 11th grader, you are asked to use the descriptive writing. So if you use the argumentative piece of writing, you will be deducted by 30 marks. An important notice here: off-point topics will receive 0. Let's take for an instance, if you were asked to write about diwaniyas and you let's say used advantages and disadvantages of diwaniyah. So in this case, all mark will be deducted. The total mark will be out of 12. So let's start now. Essay. In the essay itself, you have to write 14 sentences, and here you have to pay attention to this point. 14 sentences doesn't mean 14 lines. A sentence starts with a capital and ends with a period, or it should have a complete thought. Introduction, body 1 and body 2. Here it was written argumentative. We don't care about it. Just change it for the descriptive essay, because this is only a form, a description of diagram to exemplifying the components of your piece of writing. Introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and as we said before, these are the marks that will be deducted from you. Let's start with the outline. An outline are divided into 4 main components. The first one is introduction. What a student should have in an introduction. First, the hook. The hook is a sentence that every single student should start writing his or her piece of writing with. A hook is a sentence which attracts people's attention to continue reading your piece of writing. Then, thesis statement. What are the components of thesis statements? Thesis statements are consisting of 3 things. First, plan of development. 2, topic. 3, the development of the topic. And the purpose of the study, it's not important to write it. We can change it by history writing or background. What are the types of hooks? First, a question. You can start your piece of writing by writing a question. And here, I need to notify that most of hooks should be general, not a specific, not talking about a specific subject or certain issue in your piece of writing. Just be broad, be simple and general. A quotation, a brief anecdote, a surprising fact or statistic. And like we said before, your first sentence sets the tone for the whole essay, so spend time writing an effective hook. You have to start with a clear, concise, and catchy, and make sure it is directly relevant to what follows. Number 2, thesis statement. It should include the writer's opinion, include the plan of development to be one sentence. The purpose of the essay is sometimes it's a part of this thesis statement, but you can write it alone by why you are writing your piece of writing. What is the reason for writing this piece of writing? Now, body paragraphs, topic sentences, supporting ideas. The topic sentence should be one sentence which explains what are you going to explain in this paragraph. And supporting details, you need to support the topic sentence that you have previously mentioned in the thesis statement. Here, you need to consider that by joining the supporting details, you need to use a part of speech which is called a conjunction and subordinating conjunctions. Conjunctions like however, moreover, and subordinating conjunctions like fanboys, nor, and, but, also. The conjunctions are used to connect sentences with each other. And supporting details, you need to connect each supporting detail with the next one by using a conjunction. For the subconjunctions, you need to put it in the sentence itself, I mean in the supporting details. Then body paragraph 2, we have the same, which is topic sentence, supporting details. And last but not least, the conclusion. What is the aim for writing conclusion? Conclusion, it wraps up your essay, and it is what you will leave with your reader. And you can add suggestions, you can summarize the thesis statement, or you can add just a recommendation for the reader to follow according to your piece of writing. It shows also how you have proved your thesis. And last, it provides the reader with a sense of closure on the topic. It demonstrates to the reader that you accomplished what you set out to do. Now, these are simple methods just to brainstorming your ideas to write or to help you accomplish your piece of writing. So you have set some ideas, and then you classified it, and after that you can divide it. So here let's go in the deep and discover what is a descriptive essay. A descriptive essay is a writing that is intended to prove a vivid experience to the readers. What you mean by a vivid experience here is one that appeals to all 5 senses of the human body, like touching, hearing, smelling, tasting, sight, what you can see, You need to engage your 5 senses in your piece of writing. Now, descriptive writing. A description is a picture in words that helps the reader to see, hear, taste, smell, or feel something that the writer has experienced. Now, here you're gonna have tips for writing a descriptive essay. First, when we write a description, we must remember to begin with an interesting opening sentences that tell what the description is about. Number 2, use exact, vivid words to create a picture in the reader's mind. We can also include important details about what you are describing. Put details in time order, spatial order, or in order of importance. Use senses words that help your reader to picture what you are describing. End it in a way that wraps up the description essay. Now, an important factors should be used in literature, especially in descriptive writing. So if you want to have a perfect piece of writing which describes something, you need to use something called figurative language or the figurative speech. For example, you can use simile, metaphor, adjective, adverbs, interesting verbs. Similes and metaphors are devices which is used to be more imaginative by simplifying things and also having 2 things in common, like for example, bravery and lion. You are like lion, so you simplify the idea of bravery to a non-human, which is a lion. So this is a simile and metaphor. But the difference between simile and metaphor, in simile you use like or as, but in metaphor you don't use it. Adjective. Try to verify your use of adjectives, like long adjectives, short adjectives, strong adjectives, weak adjectives. According to the adverbs varies in its use. Like for example, you need to use the adverbs of frequency, the adverbs of manner, etc. And interesting verbs like action verbs and state verbs, dynamic verb. Similes. Comparisons using the word like or as is a simile or simile. The surface of the moon is like a crumbled sandpaper. I felt as nervous as a fish out of water, as clear as crystal. Metaphors. My tears were a river. I died with embarrassment. Her heart was on fire. He hit the wall of expression. Adjectives. Words which describe or modify nouns. The tall, thin man entered the spooky room with measured steps. Inside the room, deep shadows crouched in wait for him. Adverbs. Words which describe or modify verbs. The jet dived steeply out of the sky, trembling rapidly as they mentoring that gracefully past each other. Now, what cohesive devices, linkers, and connectors are useful in not argumentative? Here we are talking about the descriptive essay. But, however, on the other hand, whereas these are used for argumentative essay. So I think we will finish in this one. and this lesson will be continued by the most important topics in Unit 6, which is the last unit for 11th graders. And also, we will describe the rule, the grammar, which I think is question tags. In question tags, we will explain how can we form a question tag and what is the use of question tags and what are the unfamiliar rules that you can or you need to follow for question tags. Question tags are also usually to reaffirm or reassure an information which was mentioned previously by forming the helping verb in the sentence, and if we don't have a helping verb we can use do and does and did. But the most important point in question tags is to reverse the sentence. If it's negative, you need to make it positive. If it's positive, you need to make it negative. And also to use the appropriate helping verb, which is related to the new subject here. Also, you need to take consideration to the eccentric rules or extreme rules that is used in question tags. Like, let's go swimming, you use shall we, and other various rules that we will talk about here. So in the end, I would like to thank you for your patience and having me all your attention. So see you again inshallah, or talk to you again inshallah in next episodes. Goodbye.